anything is possible when it comes to the Super Bowl. Your wildest matchup dreams could come true.
According to ESPN's FBI projections for the 2021 season, there's an 8% chance the Chiefs face the Bucs again in the Super Bowl, more than any other potential matchup.
Super Bowl 56 will take place at the shiny SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, and it's not too early to think about potential dream matchups. With that, here are 10 Super Bowl 56 matchups that we're all drooling to see. Green Bay Packers versus Kansas City Chiefs, the two best quarterbacks in the game right now. What more can we say? Aaron Rodgers may have won the MVP, but Mahomes is far and away the best and most electrifying player in the NFL right now. Rodgers and Mahomes will face off for the first time ever in Week 9, thanks to the NFL's addition of a 17th game. Number 15, of course, was sidelined with a knee injury for the Packers-Chiefs 2019 showdown. Rodgers and Mahomes are in their own class as far as individual talent at the quarterback position is concerned. And think of the storyline here. Can the aging Rodgers win one more ring for the Pack before the inevitable departure? Or who knows? Maybe a second Super Bowl title convinces Rodgers and the franchise to keep this marriage going. Or will Mahomes and Andy Reid inch KC that much closer to being the next dynasty? And how about the matchup between Jair Alexander and Tyreek Hill? A game would have everything. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus New England Patriots. This one doesn't need much of an explanation. Tom Brady versus Bill Belichick. I mean, what more do you want? Yes, the Bucs and Pats will square off at Gillette Stadium in Week 4 on Sunday Night Football. Yeah, it might only be the most highly anticipated regular season game in NFL history. That's going to be great theater and all. But a Super Bowl showdown at SoFi Stadium would be even more epic. Does Brady further rub it into his former coach and team by winning his 8th ring? Or does Belichick show the world that he can still win Super Bowls even without his longtime quarterback? Brady versus Belichick. If there's an NFL version of Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader, I mean, that's pretty much it. Not to mention that the Patriots' always stingy defense would have a fun battle against the NFL's most stacked group of pass catchers. Not to mention, if there's one guy who can draw up a way to slow down the Bucs' high-powered offense, it's Belichick. Although I'm sure Brady and company would have something to say about that. Los Angeles Rams versus Buffalo Bills. The Rams and Bills gave us a true Game of the Year candidate in Week 3 of last season. The Rams erased a 28-3 deficit in the second half. Sound familiar? And took a 4-point lead with 4:30 left. But Josh Allen settled down and pieced together a surgical drive, which culminated with a game-winning TD to Tyler Kroft in the waning seconds. The Bills won 35-32. Now, who wouldn't want to see an encore to that epic matchup? You're looking at two of the game's most explosive passing offenses. Sean McVay is a Jedi master with his offensive play calling. Sean McDermott is the defensive chess master. These two coaches came over to perennial losing franchises and made them contenders. Now they're both trying to finish their climb to the top of the mountain. Just think about all the firepower this game would have on offense. Josh Allen, Gabriel Davis, Emmanuel Sanders, and Stephon Diggs versus Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Robert Woods. Then you have stars like Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and Tre'Davious White on the defensive side of the ball. And don't forget about the storylines. Does Buffalo finally end decades of heartbreak and misery and claim its first Super Bowl? Or does Stafford bring home the Lombardi Trophy in his first year in La La Land? Add it all up. And Rams vs. Bills is easily one of the most intriguing Super Bowl matchups out there. Dallas Cowboys vs. Pittsburgh Steelers. These two historic franchises have faced off in 3 Super Bowls. Of course, Terry Bradshaw and the Steel Curtain dynasty got the best of Roger Staubach's boys in the first 2 showdowns. But the 90s Cowboys clinched their dynasty status by defeating the Steelers in Super Bowl 30. Fast forward a quarter century later, and we're still waiting for the 4th Super Bowl meeting between these two. We don't just want this matchup because of the history between the Cowboys and Steelers, who are perhaps the two most popular NFL franchises. The last 5 Dallas-Pittsburgh matchups, all of which have featured Ben Roethlisberger, have been decided by 1 score. All of those games came down to the very wire. There's never a lack of drama when these two teams face off. Also, the Steelers might have the best defense in the NFL. Wouldn't you want to see that immovable object against the nearly unstoppable force that is the Dallas offense? Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb versus Minkah Fitzpatrick, TJ Watt, Cameron Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, and Devin Bush. Sign us up. Another fun note, if the Steelers were to win, they'd have the most ever Super Bowl titles with 7. If the Cowboys win, they'll be in a 3-way tie with Pittsburgh and New England for the most with 6. Good enough for us as far as storylines go. San Francisco 49ers versus Cleveland Browns. Not much of a history between the 49ers and Browns, but the actual matchup itself would be terrific. Here you have two of the game's brightest offensive-minded coaches in Kyle Shanahan and Kevin Stefanski. Both of these men run efficient, incredibly dominant zone-blocking schemes. For Shanahan, it nearly led San Fran to a Super Bowl title 2 seasons ago. As for Stefanski, he led Cleveland to their first postseason berth since 2002, and their first playoff victory since '94. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt have quickly formed the NFL's best rushing duo, but you'd have to think the 49ers' scary good front seven would be up for the test. Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, and Fred Warner would welcome the challenge of taking on arguably the NFL's best offensive line. On the other side of the ball, could Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney neutralize San Fran's rushing game? This would be a fun old-school contest featuring two hard-hitting defenses and a couple of bruising ground games. Who doesn't love a little old-school football every now and then? Seattle Seahawks versus the Tennessee Titans. These two franchises don't have huge national followings outside of their local markets, but that's all for another day. If you strictly want entertainment and lots of fireworks, then Seattle versus Tennessee in Super Bowl 56 is just for you. The Seahawks and Titans won their respective division last year, despite ranking near the bottom of the NFL in several defensive categories. Tennessee doesn't have nearly enough talent on defense to contain Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Chris Carson. But if you're the Seahawks, good luck stopping Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, and Julio Jones. In other words, don't expect a lot of defense in this battle. Rather, it'd be an epic back-and-forth tilt between two high-flying star-studded offenses. We mentioned there wouldn't be much defense in this contest. A Titans vs. Seahawks matchup could totally break the record for most points scored in a Super Bowl. Minnesota Vikings vs. Buffalo Bills. This would be the battle of the only two franchises that carry a humiliating 0-4 record in the Super Bowl, so something would have to give. But it's not just the whole storyline surrounding two extremely sad fan bases looking to win their first Super Bowl. This would actually be an awesome matchup on the field. The Vikings reversed course in 2020 and went from a stingy defensive team to an offensive machine. Kirk Cousins had his best statistical season. Dalvin Cook also enjoyed a career year. Adam Thielen was his usual solid self. And Justin Jefferson had the most dominant rookie season ever for a receiver. On the other side, you would have Stephon Diggs and defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier going up against their old team. Frazier was replaced by Mike Zimmer as Minnie's head coach in 2014. So that's yet another fun storyline to follow. Like the Titans-Seahawks matchup, we can see plenty of fireworks in this game. And the last time we checked, a lot of yards and a lot of scoring is never a bad thing, especially in a Super Bowl. Los Angeles Rams versus Los Angeles Chargers. The Bucs were the first team to play and win in a Super Bowl inside their own stadium last season, so why not have both the Rams and the Chargers accomplish this feat together this year? Of course, the whole Battle of LA in the Super Bowl is only a part of the equation here. As far as actual matchups go, few can beat this. Both teams have a lot of Pro Bowl talent on both sides of the ball. The Chargers have a young phenom quarterback and reigning offensive rookie of the year Justin Herbert, and he has Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Austin Eckler as his sidekicks on the star-studded offense. The Rams counter with the impressive trio of Stafford, Kupp, and Woods. Take your pick. Both units are downright scary. On defense, the Chargers boast superstar pass rusher Joey Bosa, 2018 All-Pro safety Derwin James, and veteran corner Chris Harris Jr. The Rams, of course, have a slight edge in this department, with guys like Donald Ramsey and Darius Williams. They certainly have what it takes to slow down Herbert and company. Oh, and let's not forget about Brandon Staley's success as the Rams defensive coordinator in 2020, which led him getting his first coaching gig with the Chargers. It would sure be fun to see how he and McVay game plan against each other, when they essentially know the ins and outs of each other's playbook. Also, the Rams and Chargers have kind of struggled to develop their respective fan bases. The winner of this showdown would surely recruit who knows how many more local fans. Simply put, there's a lot to love in a potential Rams-Chargers Super Bowl showdown this season. Green Bay Packers versus Baltimore Ravens. We'll actually see these two teams face off in Week 15 on Sunday afternoon. It's a matchup that'll feature the league's two most recent MVP winners in Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers. This matchup would be so much fun because of the whole offense versus defense thing. Rodgers, Adams, and Randall Cobb lead one of the game's most prolific passing attacks. But the Ravens bolster arguably the league's best secondary, led by all-pros Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters. This would be a juicy chess match between the three-time MVP and Don Martindale's D. That's a fun rhyme. And of course, Lamar Jackson is one of the most exciting athletes to watch. He alone is must-see TV. He also would make Super Bowl 56 that much more enjoyable. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Kansas City Chiefs. Mulligan, please. The horrendous showing by the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line made Super Bowl 55 a big-time stinker. Patrick Mahomes was running for his life all day, and Tom Brady didn't have to do a whole lot to claim his 7th ring. The first 4 Brady-Mahomes showdowns were one-score contests that all went down to the wire. It's too bad that last year's Super Bowl was basically over by halftime. But that's in the past. The Chiefs went to work in fixing up their O-line. they released Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher, who were both sidelined in that game. They signed Joe Thuney, traded for Pro Bowler Orlando Brown Jr., brought Kyle Long out of retirement, and then used their second rounder on Oklahoma center Creed Humphrey. On top of that, Dr. Lauren Duvernay-Tardif returns after opting out of last season to help fight the pandemic in a Montreal care home. It pretty much took just one awful game by the Chiefs O-line for GM Brett Veach to give the unit an overhaul. Now Mahomes will play in front of arguably the best offensive line he's ever had. Yeah. See what you've done, Tampa? And Tom? Nice job. Surely Brady vs. Mahomes Part 6 would be much better this time around. You'd have the GOAT versus the current face of the NFL. Would Mahomes get oh-so-sweet revenge to help KC get closer to becoming a dynasty? Or Brady ruin everything? Again, despite all that hard work by the KC front office. Super Bowl 55 had the makings to be a classic. It was a flop as far as entertainment value was concerned. But this time, we promise Brady vs. Mahomes in Super Bowl 56 would be a lot better. What other Super Bowl 56 matchups are you drooling to see? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, we're on everything. Go subscribe, go follow. If you like this video, give it a like. It takes one click down below and subscribe to TPS. We post videos every day. Every day's a new video. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. I'll see you next time.
On my knee.